Hello everyone, welcome to TeQSpoc. Myself, I'm Anush Kumar, Java trainer, having 5+ years of IT experience. This is a core Java session. Today's session, our agenda will be what is a constructor, what is it, first what is a constructor, we will see definition and how to create the constructor, different types of constructor, default, parameterized, non-parameterized constructor, whether what is constructor overloading. The same way there is method overloading, here also constructor overloading in construction chaining, and what is this keyword, super keywords, how we will call or use the this and super keyword for calling different types of the variables. Okay. Now, first, what is object orientation programming? We have seen earlier, but let me tell you more about what is object orientation programming. Okay. So, in short form, object orientation programming we call as a OOPS. Okay. OOPS in Java. Okay. So, OOPS stand for object orientation programming. This is a fundamental programming paradigm used in the Java that is used on the concept for conceptualizing some of the object. With the help of this OOPS principle and all, we are basically, with the help of this OOPS principle, we are basically implementing the real world problem into a programming language with the help of the OOPS concept. In OOPS, there are many different concepts which we are basically using, like class and object. With the help of class and object, we have implemented real world problem into programming language. Till now, you have seen how to create a class, object, and method of the real world problem, how we are converting real world problem into programming language. Okay. Now there are some four main principle of the OOPS, that is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay. First, in today's class, we will see the definition, and further classes we will move one by one. What are these all four principles which are inside the OOPS concept? Okay. First, there is a encapsulation. Basically, encapsulation means wrapping of a data or method into a single unit, means single unit class, and restricting the direct access of that variable or object. Okay, that is called encapsulation. So with the help of encapsulation, basically what happen now, when we create a project, in project we create a class, that is entity class. In that entity class, we basically use encapsulation concept there, and we create one class. Okay, and that class is basically is create a table in our database. Okay, so what is the how we are creating encapsulation class? With the help of encapsulation class, we are creating a table inside the project. Okay, so encapsulation is basically wrapping of the data. Okay, means encapsulation basically refer to a bundling of data. You can wrapping of data, bundling of data within the method that operate on the data, restricting the direct access of variable here. Okay, we restrict the direct access of variable. Here we make the variable private to restrict the direct access outside the class, and we here basically define getter and setter method to create or to access those variable in, okay, directly or indirectly. So let me show you how we are basically creating the encapsulation of, oh, again is stuck. Okay. Okay. This is basically a our class. Okay. This class is basically a, okay. Let's name this as a encapsulation. With the help of encapsulation, we will basically create a class in the project, and this class basically create this encapsulation class basically create a table for us. In table will be created in the data base. Whatever name will be given here, with that name a table will be created in our database. Okay, we will see how we will create a table inside the project, the encapsulation class, and then how automatically a table is created with the help of the encapsulation class. We will see in the further upcoming, okay, inside the project. Okay, so first, how we will see how to create encapsulation class. Encapsulation class basically we are hiding the method or variable by making them, we hiding the data method, making them uh, variable private. Okay, So our class is basically public class. Then if generally we are doing int x equal to 10, okay, okay, or string name equal to Anil, okay, string yes should be capital. Okay, this is basically our variable. String yes should be capital. These are basically a variable and it should be in double column. Okay, these are variable. Okay, so as you create the encapsulation class, the class will be created with this, the table will be created in database with the same name and the class name, and this will be the this will the column will be created with the column with the name column with the name x in this way. So basically this is now here we will make the variable private vi private. We have seen in the access specifier, if we are making something private, it cannot be accessed outside the class. Okay. So this thing basically cannot be, when we are making it private, it basically do not be accessed outside the class. Similarly, if we make the class private, it cannot be accessed outside. Okay. And access specifier, we have seen what is the different types of access specifier, what are the, why we are making default, why we are making public. Public means we can access it from anywhere, any class, any bytecode. Okay. Okay. Now, like now we have created one a int x equal to 10, one variable, and we have make this as a private. Now publicly defined getter and setter will be. Getter is used for getting the data and setter used for setting the data into a variable. Okay. Now I will remove, I will not, just I will empty x int. Okay. Now I will define uh, private, no, not private, sorry, public void set data for setting data. Set, um, let me give this as a, this is a id. Okay, this is id. Okay, set id, set id, then passing int id will open close, and this dot id, this is basically we are initializing the value equal to id. Okay, this is basically we are doing initialization. This dot id is basically we are initializing the value. Okay, now we will, what we will do, second public uh, int get id. From get id we will basically, we will get the id. When we will call get id, then we will basically get the return id. Okay. Set id, we can give and give the value inside the id, means with the help of set id we will pass the value 1, and with the help of the get id we will get the id. Okay, now we will create a main method. Okay, main method. Now create an object a1, sorry, a should be capital, class name, reference variable. With the help of new keyword, creating an object, a constructor for initialization. Now, like reference variable, I want to set the id a1 dot set. Now I will call set id, just enter set id. What we want, id is 1, your roll number is 1, id is 1. So in this way I have set the id, means in id now number 1 is basically stored. Okay, now, and second I want to get that id, I want to just system dot out dot print and a1 dot get id. Okay, get id. Uh, in this way, we will get the id in the output. Cursor plus save and run. So this way, we are encapsulating, okay, making the class so that it cannot be accessed directly. Okay, with the help of this setter, I will set the id, and getter we will get the name of the variable. Okay, so this thing basically we are using inside the when we create the project, and with the help of this, we will get the data from the table and set the data into table with the get id set id. Okay, this thing you have to remember. This encapsulation, we will create a one class with the help of whatever the class name we will create inside the project, that class name table will be created in the database. Okay. In the same way, we will create the class, like if we have created a class with the name customer, CUSTOM, the customer table will be created, and we will same thing, we will pass ID equal to this, ID equal to this, ID equal to this. And then after that, we will import this class inside our uh, controller layer or message, and we will do the things. Okay. Just now, you know what is a encapsulation, what is the use. Okay. So this is basically encapsulation. Now moving to the next concept, that is abstraction. So what is basically abstraction is, see, abstraction is hiding a complex internal implementation detail, showing only the necessary feature of an object, that is called an abstraction. Basically, these four terms, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, is basically 100% the interview will be asked. So you must know the definition and all the thing. Okay. So what is abstraction? Hiding the complex internal implementation detail and showing only the necessary feature of an object. Okay, this is called abstraction. Okay, and second way is also in abstraction, we hide the implementation detail. And the way we achieve that in Java is by using the interface and abstract class. Okay, we have seen the interface, how to create the interfaces. Okay, that is the abstraction. In project, we basically, when we are create the project, we basically use the abstraction concept. Okay, in project we will see how to do abstraction. Okay, so don't be panic, just now see the definition. Okay, then we have in interface, we have inheritance. Okay, inheritance basically a mechanism by which one class inherits the property and behavior of the another class, that is called inheritance. Okay, in inheritance there are different types of inheritance, we will see further. Okay, this is basic definition, just is overview, I am giving the overview. These are the four principles of the OOP concept. Okay, then we have polymorphism. So in polymorphism, one type we have seen, that is overloading. We have seen method overloading. Now today we will see constructor overloading also. Okay, that is the one type of polymorphism. So polymorphism is ability to present the same interface from the different underlying data by type of or implementing. Polymorphism is poly means many, morphism is form. In polymorphism basically means we developed a feature in such a way that a certain class perform different operation according to the condition. Means one class we have seen, we have created in previously, add method. Add method can also take int value. Add method can also take floating point value. So that is basically a come under, means that method basically perform more than two operation. That is called a polymorphism. Types of polymorphism, that is a overload. Okay, but that is basically a polymorphism. Okay, now what is the advantage of the polymorphism, we will just discuss here. Now, we have seen the four principles of the OOPS concept, that is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay. With the help of, we have seen with the help of OOPS concept, we are implementing a real world problem into a programming language with the help, okay. And we have seen with that is class, object, encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism. Okay. In further classes, we will see this concept in encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. These are four concepts we will implement inside a project. There you will be more clear how to implement it. Okay. Now, what is the advantage of the OOPS? Okay, advantage basically of the OOPS is that it is basically modularity, means code is organized into a separate object that is class, and make it easier to manage and debug. It is right, because with the help of OOPS concept, the code is basically structural, and we are very easy to use that code. Reusability, with the help of the method we can reuse the code. Class can be reused across the multiple project. Okay, if one package is a class A and other package is a class B, we have seen how to create a package and how to use the different class inside the different package. Okay, then we have scalability and maintainability. Then scalability means with this OOPS concept, basically we can scale, okay, and maintain, means change can be made with the minimal impact of the rest of the system, and making application easier to scale and maintain. This is the third advantage. data security we get means through encapsulation our data is basically secure. We can, okay, with the help of getter and setter only we are accessing the data. Without that we cannot access the data. That is data security with the help of encapsulation. Dry principle means do not repeat yourself. Encourage the code to reuse. Reduce the redundancy by using the inheritance. Inheritance, okay, modular class means inheritance means basically one class inherit the property of another class. Then we do not have to create again the same class. Okay, we can directly implement those class, import those class in another class. That is basically inheritance concept. Okay, do not repeat yourself. That basically means, है ना? Then improve the productivity and faster development. Because with the help of when we use one class in another with the help of inheritance, or we import one class into another class, then we do not have to write the class again. Means code reusability improve the productivity and faster development. Then your time is basically secure. You do not waste your time. And better collaboration. Okay, team can work on different object module simultaneously and enabling the parallel development. This is the basic the advantage of the OOPS. Real world modeling with the help of OOPS. As we real world problems are basically make into the programming design with the help of class and object. Okay, so these are basically the advantage of the OOPS. Okay, now we will move to a constructor. What is basically a constructor? Okay, constructor basically used for initialization, okay, of the object. Constructor is a special method that is called when an object are created. Okay, it have the same name as the class and do not have a return time. So basically, previous classes I have given you a small introduction to constructor also. So here we will see in more detail about the constructor. So I will remove this. This is a class A basically. Okay. So first point is constructor should be same name of the class name. Okay. This class name is A. So constructor should be same of class name. So our constructor should be this A, this parenthesis, and this. So this is basically a constructor. Constructor are used for initializing the object. It is basically constructor used for initialization object. Whenever a object is created, then the constructor will be called automatically, and constructor are permanently void. You cannot return because okay, you cannot return. They are void. Okay, you cannot return. Okay. Now, you cannot return a value. They are permanently void. Okay. Uh, then, uh, we have created now how the constructor is called. So this is main method. We have created main method. Okay. Whenever we create an object, a1 equal to new a. Okay, this is basically a constructor only, which is used for initialization of the object. Okay, that is different constructor are used for initializing the object. Whenever you call create a object, a constructor, this constructor should be called automatically. Let's see, print something inside the constructor system dot out dot print. This is a constructor constructor cursor plus s for save F11 to run a program, and we can see the constructor is running. Okay. If I again a2 equal to new a cursor plus save run. See, whenever we create the object, that number of time the constructor will be called. Okay. If we have created two objects, the two times the constructor is called. That is the basic meaning. Whenever we create a object, the constructor is called automatically. Okay. The construct or second thing, the constructor are permanent void. So void cannot return or to return a value. Value means like this. This is a value return. It cannot return a value. You are getting an error. Okay, you can only write return statement, but you cannot return a value inside a constructor. Okay, constructor can be constructor. This is a point. In further classes, we can see what is inheritance, then you will be more clear. But please note, constructor cannot be inherited because they are not the members. Okay, this point you have to note. In when we will study in upcoming next class, what is inheritance, we will see. Okay, what is inheritance? Inheritance basically means you inherit the property of one class into another. Okay, but constructor are not we cannot inherit the constructor because they are not the member. Okay, this is the point. This is basically an interview asked to confuse you. Okay, that's why I am mentioning this point here on. Okay, now one more thing, Java constructor cannot be static. Your constructor cannot be a static, static. Okay, you are getting an error. Okay, and your constructor cannot be a sorry constructor cannot be a final also. Your constructor cannot be a final. Okay, a constructor can be a public, private, protected. Okay, public, private, protected, default. Okay, but if constructor cannot be final, constructor cannot be static. So this point, you have to remember. Interview point is this constructor cannot be a final or static. This is interview point. And one more interview point is constructor cannot be in inherited. When you will give the interview, then you will remember why this point is very important. Okay. Huh. Now we will move to now we have seen constructor. Okay. Now let me remove this all the points. So this is the constructor. Okay. This is inside this. We can also pass in this types of argument, creating an argument inside a constructor. Like int x is an one argument. Okay, char character y. Okay, this is one argument. Okay, then what? Then you have to pass the value here. Like int x means 10, character y means single colon a is a character. So in this way, you can pass the parameter inside a constructor, and you have to give the value of parameter inside this object. Okay, so this way, and I have to print this also. So I will here print print x, and also I will print y. So what will happen when we run this class? Then it will come here. The execution will come here. Then execution will go here. Then after a new object, whenever we create an object, the constructor will come. The line will come here. Okay, these are the variables. Okay, this value will be passed, and then it will print this and this. And after return, go back to the calling statement. Okay, so this is the general flow, and we have here. Right. So this is the output. Okay. So this is the basically a what giving a parameter inside the constructor. Okay. Now similar case we have seen method overloading. Now we will see method over constructor overloading. Constructor overloading. Now we will see. So what happens in constructor overloading? Same. When we create more than one constructor in the same class, provided that they have different numbers of argument or different types of argument, then it is called a constructor overloading. In this case, let me- like this is one constructor. Okay, now let me create from the starting. This is uh, okay. This is basically a class. Class name is I will create as one constructor. Okay, this one constructor. Okay, and I this is currently here I have not passed. Sorry, argument is equal to no argument is here. Okay, just I am printing just YSOUT. This is a empty empty empty. Okay, Now I will create second constructor. When we create more than one constructor inside any class, or then it is called constructor overloading. Simply, if we create more than one method inside a class, this is called method overloading. Okay. So this is the same concept. This is the concept. Right? Now, what we will do, create one more constructor. Okay. And the passing parameter should be different. Like in this case, I will pass int x. Okay. Now the here the our argument is basically one argument is here. Okay. For understanding. And I will print SYSOUT, print dash argument x. Okay. This is two constructor. Now I will okay. Two constructor because our multiple create main method. Okay. After creating main method, create an a1 equal to new a initialization. This is also a. This is also a basically a. This is a constructor. Okay. Now first constructor I have empty. Okay. Now I will create this basically this object will call this. Okay. Now I will create one more object a2 equal to new a. In this time I will pass the value here, that is a 10. Okay. Now 10. Okay. This time this object will be gone to this constructor and the 10 value will be basically printed. Okay. So we have created two objects. One object is empty, so this constructor, and one object has the parameter int x value 10 is passed, then this constructor will be basically called. So let save and run your program. So basically first constructor empty is running and second constructor have an argument int 10, the 10 is running. So in this way, this is basically a example of the constructor overload. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. Now, now. Hmm. Hmm. Constructor overloading. Okay. Then what is a default constructor? Okay. So basically, what is default constructor? When a default first, let me tell you definition. A default constructor is a constructor that take no parameter. If we do not define any constructor in a Java class, then automatically during the compilation, the compiler will automatically create a default constructor. Okay. What is basically means here, if you create constructor inside class or not, the will during the compilation, the compiler will automatically create a default constructor here. It will create a default constructor with no passing parameter. Okay. Okay. In this, that is a default constructor. It is automatically created if you do not create it. Okay. A, like a default constructor referred to a nullary constructor. It is also called default constructor is also called as a nullary constructor. Okay, which is basically let me here. Default constructor also called a nullary constructor that is automatically generated by a compiler if no constructor has been defined for a class. Okay. The default constructor implicitly called a superclass nullary constructor that execute on the empty world. That is the basically a default constructor. Okay. Default constructor initialize the instance variable with the default value. Example, if there is int variable, then the default value of int is 0. Okay. This is basically a default constructor. Okay, this is basically a default constructor which is automatically be created. Now we have two types of constructor: parameterized constructor and no arc constructor, yeah, non-parameterized constructor. So basically, what happened? Parameterized constructor, when we pass an argument inside a constructor, then basically that is called an parameterized constructor. And when we do not pass an argument inside a constructor, yeah, it is called non-parameterized structure. Non-parameterized constructor is a user-defined constructor with no parameter. It is explicitly written by the programmer and can include custom initialization logic. Okay. Similarly, a parameterized constructor that accepted argument. Okay, that is called parameterized. When you pass an argument inside the constructor, then it is a parameterized, and then it is non-parameterized. No argument. Okay. When we do not create similarly, when we do not create constructor, then during the compilation, that is a During compilation, dot class file will be converted into dot Java file. Okay, that dot class file automatically no or empty body constructor, that is the only constructor will be created, and this constructor is called a default constructor basically. Okay, constructor overloading we have seen just now. Now this keyword. Okay, one more interview point of view. This keyword and super keyword we will study in this session. So what is basically this keyword? First definition, this keyword referred to a parent class used to call a constructor from another constructor. With the help of this keyword, we can call one constructor from another constructor used to refer the instance variable. Okay, this is it. Okay. So this is basic example. Let me move to the practical. Practical is basically more understood, understandable. Definition may be difficult to understand, but the practical thing, from practical we will understand more easily, more easily. Like basically this we are talking about this keyword. Okay, this is a basically a keyword. Okay, so this keyword is a special kind of reference, a special reference, REFEREN reference variable. This keyword is a special reference variable that automatically get created. Okay, and hold the object address of the current execution. Okay, so let me show you one. This is a public class here. This is a main method. Enter. Okay, then create an a1 equal to new a. Okay, this we have created an object. SYSOUT. I want to see the what is inside the A1 reference variable. Just enter. A1 reference variable is holding this object address. Okay. Now what I will do, I will create one method that is a public void test. That is public void UBLIC public void test method I have created. Okay. And SYSOUT. This this basically hold the this is basically a special reference variable that hold the object address of the that hold the object address. And which object address basically it will hold the current object address running in the program. Where the object address is basically here, object address basically is stored inside a1 reference variable. Okay. So we have seen a1 is object address by running the first uh, program. Mm. This is the object address. Okay. Now we have created this method. We will call this method with the reference variable dot method name. Okay. Now this keyword will also print the object address. See, so with the definition, what here the definition is uh, definition here like or this keyword refer to current class instance used to call the constructor of another class used to refer to the instance variable. This keyword basically store the object address. Okay. So earlier you are not able to understand what this basically definition is saying. Now you can understand with the help of the practical example that this keyword is basically storing the object address of current running program. Okay. Now if current running program basically what it means. Uh, Hmm. It means create one more a2 equal to new a. This is the second object. Okay. SYSOUT. This is a2. Okay. Here the in when we create this object here one object address is stored inside a1. Okay. Now if we create one more object, there one different object is will be created inside a2. Okay. This a1 a2 object address will be different, but this keyword basically store the object address of current running execution, because currently one is created, then two this object is created, this object is a2, this is the basically current object, this will be a current object. Okay. In this way, whatsoever will be current object, one or two, that will be basically printed with this keyword. So I will run the program. See. See, In this way, we can see that this about this current object address will be stored. Okay. Now, what we will do using this keyword, we can access the non-static variable or a static variable also. Then this point I want to show you. Um, this one. Now, this one. Using this keyword, we can access monitor x equal to okay, and object a1 equal to okay, a1 equal to new, and I have to call the method a1 this, and from the method I will call this dot x, this dot x. We are calling this variable this dot x. Okay, this one. Cursor plus save and run. So using this keyword, we can access a non-static variable. This is basically a non-static variable. Okay, with the help of this keyword. Yeah. One more interview question was many times asked to me also, to student also. That is, uh, if we have two methods, public void test, public void test. So this is a test two. Okay. The second method. This is basically uh, a first method. Okay, and we can call this method inside this method with the help of this keyword. Okay, this dot test and test two. Okay, this one. Okay, with the help of this dot test two, I am calling this method, and test method is called here a1 dot test two. This is basically asked in different interviews. Call one method from another method with the help of this keyword. So this is the basically way of doing the things. Basically, we can see first method and second method. Both the methods are running, and with the help of this keyword, we are calling one method from another method with the help of this keyword. This is basically a interview problem asked to 1 to 3 your experience. Okay. Now there will be some limitation of this keyword also. This keyword cannot be used inside a static method. Oh, hence means means is this static is this keyword cannot use inside the static method. Means this is main method is a static keyword, so this is a static method. So here you cannot use this. You are getting the cross error. So this keyword cannot use inside the static method. Okay, using this keyword we can access the static members also. Means static variable, we can also access the static variable using this keyword. But we should never do that. Okay, we can access, but we should never do that. Static int x equal to okay, main method this dot x. I think I am still realizing. With the help of we can also access the static members, but we should never do that. Okay, it is not recommended. Okay, it should never do. It is not recommended to access the static variable with the help of this keyword. It is not recommended. Okay, so no, do not do that. Okay. Okay, okay, very good. So we have seen the this keyword. Now what is left? I think super keyword is left. Start. First chaining is also good. No problem. No problem. Constructor chaining is nothing but what? When we call one constructor from the another constructor, na, that is the basic constructor chaining. Means with the help of this keyword. Let me show you. First, let me show you the definition. Constructor chaining. What is constructor chaining? Calling one constructor from another constructor with the okay in the same class with the help of this keyword. Like there is a one class, there are two different types of constructor. When we call one constructor from another constructor with the help of this keyword, then that thing is basically called as a constructor chaining. Means like I have a and x one passing the two parameter in y. Okay, this is a basically a constructor. And yes, YSOUT, I am writing. And similarly, I will one more constructor A. This time I will pass only one. Okay, only one I am passing, and with the help of this, I am passing the value of first constructor. That is int x I will pass 10, and int y I will pass 20. Okay, with the help of this keyword. This keyword basically, with the help of this keyword, we are calling this constructor inside from this constructor. Similarly, we will get one more constructor. In this time, I will do not write any parameter. With the help of this keyword, I will call this constructor. In this time, here are only one parameter, so I will only write 30. Okay. This is in this way we are, and then create a main method, है ना? And then a1 sorry a1 equal to main. A, this is the basically a what calling of the value. Okay, now calling one constructor from another constructor, this way you are calling the things. Okay, so this is called a constructor chaining. Okay, and what I can use is similarly you can if you want to print so standard out of print, this way you can print the values 10 20. In similarly you can print here also sy also you see here name is okay, no problem, name is same to same रहने दो, कोई problem नहीं. Then sy sout, then name will be nah, x. Here the name is x. Oh, enter. Okay. Oh, sorry. No problem. Leave it. No problem. Okay. Basically we have called already. So why I will print here? Here I have to print nothing. There is no parameter. So why I will print here? Here are parameter. Here are parameter. This is the call a constructor chain basically. Okay. Okay, the constructor chaining, and now we will come to the super keywords. Here, basically, super. This super is also one keyword referred to the immediate parent. With the help of super keyword, refer to immediate parent are used to call the parent constructor or access the parent class member. Okay. Basically, a super keyword, we can, with the help of super keyword, we can access the member of the parent class. Access the member of the parent class means, okay, and okay. Here I will create one more class with the name P. P. Info. P. Now one class is A and one class is B. Okay. Now what I will do, let A will be a parent class. This is a PARE parent class. Okay, and B is the child class. I will import the parent class thing inside the child class with the help of extend keyword. When you want to import the things of parent class in a child class, when you want, okay, then from when you import from class to class, this is also a class, A is a class and B is also a class. Then you will use extend keyword, a public class extend extend A. Always remember, when you want to import from one class to another class, you will use extend keyword. Okay, extend keyword. Okay, and when you import from an interface to class, when you will importing first thing, when you will import from parent class to child class, you will use what you will use extend keyword. Okay, first thing you have to remember. Second thing, when you import from parent, that is to interface to class, then you will use in when you implements, we will use implements keyword. Okay, then you will use implements keyword. We will further classes we will see more how to use implements, how to use extend. Okay, this is the work. Okay, now implements. Now here, like in this is a parent class A, I will write int uh, int I. मान लीजिए I equal to 10. Int I equal to 10. This is it. Our parent class. I have created one non-static variable that is int I equal to 10. Then I want to import this I equal to 10 inside the class B. For importing class to class, we will use extend keyword. We have to write public class B extend parent class name. Okay. Then what we will do? We will create a main method. Main, we have created main method and create the object of the your child class. Child should be b1 equal to new b. In this way, we have to create an object. Here, this is an object of our this class, and we will create one method that is a public void test method, public void test method. And inside this method, yes, with the help of super keyword, we will call the parent class inside the child class. With the help of super keyword, we will call the parent class inside the child class. Super.i. Super.i basically will get the value of this variable, non-static variable. So now we will call the method by b1 dot test. We are calling this method. Okay. Cursor plus save, run. Okay, it is downloading something. Just wait 1 minute, few seconds, and it will run to the output app. And I run for that. Okay, now we are getting the output with the help of super keyword, super.i. Okay, understand? Clear now. Coming to the next point of super keyword. Using a super keyword, we can access static and non-static variable also. So currently we have seen a this is basically a non-static variable. Now what is static variable? When we put a static keyword inside a variable, then variable x, then it is a static variable. Simple. And from one class to another class, we want to use the thing. Then you have to use extend keyword, public class B extend A, then create a main method. create the object of the child class. Here is a one method. With the help of super keyword super dot I am accessing the members of the parent class. Okay. Now I want to access the non-static static variable. The static variable, that's why I will be same super dot x. The variable name is x and run it. In this way, we are getting the value. Okay. Now, what we will do? Next, super keyword cannot be used inside the static method. Means super keyword, whichever method is using a static keyword, there you cannot use a super. You will get an error. See, error you are getting. This is the next point. Okay. Using a super keyword, we can call a constructor of a parent class, but then we should use super keyword inside a child constructor, and it should be very first statement. If second statement, then we will get an a error. What is basically is means is that if we have a constructor here, here if I will get a constructor, uh, parent class constructor, and I want to print SYSOUP. This is a CONSTRUC constructor of class A. Okay. This is constructor of class A. Now I want to access the constructor of parent class constructor A in a child class constructor B. We can use we can call that constructor of child class constructor. So the calling should be inside a child class constructor. The calling should be from a child class constructor. This is B. This is a constructor, and calling should be child class constructor with the help of super keyword. Yes, super super keyword. In this way, we will call a parent class constructor from a child class constructor, and it should be very first statement. If not first statement, it will give you a error. And just run. In this way, we can also access the parent class constructor, parent class variable. So what we have seen in here with here super keyword, uh, we can access the constructor, access the members of the parent class. So in this way, from the practical, it is more clear to understand, right? Uh, Now, if we do not keep super keyword inside a child class constructor, then while compilation automatically the super keyword will be placed, okay, and it called a no or constructor of the parent class. Okay, if you will not do not get a child class constructor, then during the compilation automatically a child class constructor will be created and it will call a no or constructor of the parent class. Okay, similarly, if you do not create a child class constructor without an argument, then compiler will automatically place a no or constructor with a super keyword. Okay, super keyword will only call only no or constructor. Okay, it will the super keyword which is created if you do not uh, create a constructor, it will only call a no or constructor. If constructor with an argument is there, then you have to create a constructor and call a constructor. If current plan, if there is only constructor with an argument, then as a programmer, you have to explicitly write a super keyword in the child class constructor to call a parameterized constructor. Okay, this is basically. You cannot use super and this keyword cannot be used together for calling a constructor. Okay, you should also you remember this is a point super and this keyword cannot be used together to call a constructor, but it can be used together to call a variable for it. Okay. If one case also, if you have a child class constructor consist of this keyword, okay. If the child class constructor there is a this keyword, then super keyword will not be automatically placed. Okay. If there is a this keyword already present, then super keyword will not be automatically placed. So this is basically the use of the super keyword. Okay. To this point, you have to remember and note this all this point when the interview will ask you. You have to tell all this point. Okay. An interview may ask cross question related to this. If you have okay, noted down, remember this all this one, then you will good to go and pass the interview. Okay. Okay. Now this all for the today's session. Meet you in the next session, and we will move to the further more concept of our proofs concept. That is, we will see what is the polymorphism, what is inheritance. Okay, we will see. Okay. Now, thank you. See you in the next class.
Contact us for the free job assistance. We will help you to get the IT job. Please like, subscribe, and share the channel for more regular updates from TeQSpoc.